From ancient cities to the discovery of chocolate. Stay tuned to number 1 to find out the most surprising discoveries found in ancient ruins. Number 10. Ancient Mayan City. The Mayans are, by and large, one of the greatest historical cultures to ever walk the earth. And to that end, they're also one of the most mysterious people to ever walk this earth. For just as suddenly as they came upon the world stage, they left. Gone. And to this day, we're still making discoveries about them that change the way we look at them. Such as when a group of scientists used some laser technology to find a piece of Mayan culture that they hadn't found before. This was done in Guatemala, where the forests of the area made it incredibly hard to search for clues from both above and below. So they used lasers to scan under the canopies of the trees, and when they did, they found a massive Mayan settlement. And it wasn't just a small set of houses, they found homes, palaces, and even their own version of highways. The area had the potential to be home to millions of Mayans, according to the researchers. I think this is one of the greatest advances in over 150 years of Maya archaeology, said Stephen Houston, professor of archaeology and anthropology at Brown University. Because of this discovery, many scientists think that the Mayans were an even bigger and grander culture than we originally surmised. Number 9. Tunnel beneath Teotihuacan. You think you know a place, and then they turn around and show you that you didn't know as much as you thought you did. That's exactly what happened in Mexico with the pyramid in the city of Teotihuacan. This city was one of the gems of Mexico during the period of Mayans and other cultures. According to reports, the city, which was full of ancient pyramids, could have easily held over 100,000 people. But in truth, no one actually knows what happened to their civilization. The pyramids themselves are a big focus for researchers and archaeologists, and they continue to make big discoveries about them. For example, they recently used laser technology, does that sound familiar? To locate a secret tunnel in one of the main pyramids. They found it in the Pyramid of the Moon, and further looking revealed that the tunnel made its way to an open plaza area underground. Though they haven't been able to look inside of the tunnels just yet, the belief is that this could have been the way into a burial chamber of sorts. And having the tunnel be inside of the pyramid could be a symbolic way of representing the underworld. Plus, if this particular pyramid was hiding this tunnel, what could the others be hiding? Number 8. Monument within a burial site. Before we talk about this amazing monument, take a moment to like this video and join the Zero to Hero community by using the buttons below. Digging up graves may seem like a bad practice when it comes to modern definitions of graves, but for archaeologists, finding an ancient grave is a very important part of their jobs. For finding ancient graves of people from ages long ago can help determine things about those times and those people. A great example of this was found in England this year, for archaeologists had found a grave, also known as a barrow, that appeared to be from the Bronze Age, which is a very worthy discovery. As they kept digging though, they actually found more than just a grave. First and foremost, the grave was not only still intact, but it contained 4 different urns with human remains in them. But not bones. No, this was cremation. Not only did this show the care and precision that ancient people followed with their burials, but also their traditions about them. Furthermore, as the team kept digging down in the dirt, they even found a monument from the Neolithic age, which was a huge find. Based upon their estimations, they figured that the people of the Bronze Age found it and decided to use it as a memorial. Number 7. Canal of the Gods. Let me ask you this. What do you think archaeologists do after they're done examining an object? Say, like a pyramid. Do they just leave it alone once they're done? No, they actually keep close eye on it via various devices so that they don't miss out on something that could potentially harm the artifact. And sometimes that leads to new discoveries. Like what happened in Palenque, Mexico. You see, there was a team of archaeologists who were interested in one of the tombs, and one day they noticed some weird activity coming from underneath the tomb itself. They were worried that the tomb was about to implode somehow, so they started to dig around it to see what was going on. But to their surprise, they found a tunnel system, a canal specifically, one that they realized was made to guide the spirit of the king who was buried there to the underworld. This was proven by engravings that reference the Mayan god of death. Though the canal is small, they're currently using robots to go in and see what they can find. Number 6. Aztec temple under a pyramid. Sometimes nature is the biggest help to archaeologists, even if they don't realize it at the time. Case in point, there was an earthquake in Mexico in 2017. There was a lot of damage, including damage done to a site called Teotihuacan, which was home to a pyramid, among other things. A survey team was sent to figure out what was the damage in the pyramid itself, but what they found was something else entirely. They found a structure underneath the pyramid that no one had noticed before. After digging down, they found themselves looking at an ancient Aztec temple, one that was much older than the pyramid built above it. According to research, the temple was meant to honor the rain god of the Aztec people, Tlaloc. How did that one guy say it? Oh yeah, life finds a way. Number 5. Circle of cities. There were many kingdoms of the past that have been discovered by archaeologists. One of them, in Mexico, that you might not know about is the Aztec kingdom. It lasted for 600 years, and ever since the 1940s when it was rediscovered, it has been a hotspot for archaeologists. So in 2018, a team of people focused on the capital city, conveniently called Aztec, and went around to see what they could find. To their shock, they didn't just find a few houses around the city, they found entire towns, 40 of them to be precise, scattered all around the city of Aztec. What's even more intriguing is that the towns had the exact same layout as Aztec itself, showing a unity of sorts in regards to how they built their worlds. Number 4. Electromagnetic Egypt. One of the greatest mysteries in the world today is how the ancient Egyptians made their amazing pyramids. Hint, the answer is aliens. To this day, people are still studying them with awe and reverence, and for good reason. I mean, seriously, look at them. Because so much is still unknown about them, scientists sometimes do very random tests to see what they can learn. Case in point, they recently discovered that the Great Pyramid of Giza could channel electromagnetic energy. To be clear, it doesn't emit electromagnetic energy, but rather the limestone that composes it can channel it, focus it, and then actually move it around parts of itself. The funny part, though, is that according to theorists, this was something that the Egyptians didn't even consider when they built the pyramid, likely because they didn't even know what electromagnetic energy was. Oh well, happy accidents. Number 3. Line in the crops. As I noted earlier, sometimes nature is the best way to find things. In the United Kingdom, a massive heat wave had devastated much of the crops in the area. As such, things have gotten a lot thinner in that region. When you look at it from ground level, it doesn't mean much. But when you look at it from above, yeah, you get a whole new perspective. What they found were lines and remnants of ancient cities and towns. In fact, over 1,500 sites were found because of the drought. Burial sites, farming lands, and unusual villages that could all be seen and discovered. So while the loss of crops is terrible, at least there was a small benefit from it. Number 2. Chan idols. Sometimes you don't know what you have until you dive in and find out for yourself. The Chimu kingdom lasted for over 500 years in what we now call Peru, and the pinnacle of this kingdom was their capital, called Chan. The city has stood the test of time and was even given a World Heritage Site status so that it could never be demolished. Over time, repairs have been done to the city so that it can last even longer. When they did that, though, they found something strange. A hidden passageway that led to a type of ceremonial chamber. But that's not the interesting part, believe it or not. For inside that passageway were idols, nearly 3 feet tall, shaped like humans, and inserted into the walls of the passageway itself. Despite the fact that they were made of wood, many of them were still in good condition. What's more, they were the most ancient of any idols in the Chimu kingdom. Number 1. Choco origins. Let's have some real talk for a sec, okay? Chocolate? It's awesome. Now, I'm sure that not all of you are able to eat chocolate, or you prefer chocolate in a certain way or certain type, or only in certain amounts, and that's fine. but for those who have tried it, you'll understand how good it is. It is a basis of human life now in many respects. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered where it came from? Now, the 100% true answer is the cocoa seed from the cocoa tree that you can find in certain places of the world. But what I'm talking about is who made the first chocolate? Never thought about that, now did you? Well, scientists did, and they surmised that it was actually the ancient Mayans that created the first chocolate treats over 3,500 years ago, which makes sense in a lot of ways. Here's the problem. In 2018, a race of people now called the Mayans were discovered. This unknown people had been in Ecuador and were actually quite old. So old, in fact, that when the scientists found traces of cocoa seeds in their lands, they realized the truth. Chocolate had come from them. But wait, it gets better. For not only did chocolate come from them, but they also taught the ancient Mayans how to grind chocolate seeds, thus ensuring it would be passed on throughout the ages. Still not enough? Well, the discovery of the Mayan chip definitively proves that chocolate was originally found, in terms of the seeds and trees, in South America. There was evidence to point to this, but no definitive proof. Since the Mayan chip were said to have created this over 5,000 years ago, based upon their studies and evidence, and since they were in Ecuador, it proves that the cocoa tree and others like it were in South America first. Long live chocolate. Tell us what you think about these amazing discoveries in the comments below, and take care.